Hello everybody and welcome to my video Getting Tidier. I hope you're all well and I hope you've had a lovely week, as by the time you're watching this is probably going to be right towards the end of the week. I start the video with a quick update on where you're all from. So a massive thank you if you've just joined us here. If you haven't subscribed, please do consider subscribing to my channel and letting us know where you're all from. So we've got a mix where most of my viewers at the moment are from the United Kingdom. In fact, 41-ish% are from the United Kingdom. And then we've got the United States, 18%, Canada, Australia, Germany, and then Ireland, Netherlands, France, Russia, and coming in at 0.1%, hanging on to the 10th spot, is Italy. You can see that quite a few people aren't subscribed to my channel who watch, so please do consider subscribing. So this video continues where I left off on my last video with a massive clear up and sort out after Christmas. Also, I'm trying to get rid of some things on various different selling sites and eBay and so on. You'll see me sorting out and tidying up the lounge. I'm still trying to clear up and tidy up after Christmas, and you'll also see me doing some work in the kitchen. The video begins though with me in the dining room sorting out some of the washing. So I said to you before about how I'd got mammoth amounts of washing to do. A number of reasons really. There were a couple, well, there's 1 week where I didn't do any washing over Christmas and New Year, so there was sort of a week, possibly 2-ish, which I missed. So then I had extra to do when I then started kind of trying to get back on top of things. And then I also all those piles of clothes in our bedroom on my husband's chair, he's put most of them in the wash. So this is more washing than what I would normally have. So for those of you horrified about my dining room looking like a laundrette, it's not usually quite this bad, although I know some of you might disagree. That pile of washing on the chair has got so ridiculous that I've now taken it upstairs, ready to be sorted into 3 piles. It's just overflowing really. So I've decided, as one of my targets for this year, I'm going to do washing more frequently, but then have less of it, if you see what I mean. So rather than just doing my washing on a Monday and then there's loads and loads and loads to dry, I'm going to put washing on a bit more frequently. With the view that I'll be drying it quicker and there'll be less sitting about everywhere. So you'll see there's some craft things left on the table. My daughter making her book cover. And can you see also my plant hangers are all ready there to sell to send to the 4 people who were lucky on my 3,000 follower giveaway. So I just need to go and get some envelopes, and you know how notoriously bad I am at posting things. I promise you will get them within the next month. I promise, that's my commitment. If I've got a deadline, then I'm more effective. So there's lots of things there that I want to put on eBay or just get rid on the selling sites. So there is a number of sort of my childhood toys really, and a few things that are my daughter's. That plastic yellow tub has been sitting there all over Christmas, so I'm really keen now to get these photographed and put them on. I've put on some Klingons, a doll, various other things, so I'm going to get these on. Some of them are Planet of the Apes figures that I bought when I was probably in my early 20s. They're ones that aren't particularly collectible. I've kept the one that's really collectible because my husband said that was worth keeping that. But all the others I'm going to put on eBay or some of the other selling sites, and I'll let you know whether they sell or not. If they don't sell, I'll then give them to the charity shop. I've got a Barbie doll. She's a really beautiful Barbie doll. She's got like sort of pink and black dress. She's black. She's got nice earrings and she's got lovely long hair. And I put her on eBay, and she's been on now 3 times and she's not sold. And I think maybe I had her on for too much. She's brand new in the box, so I put her on for £8 because she sells for about £20 in the toy shops. I thought she was quite collectible, but nobody seemed interested. And my daughter then said, oh, maybe you've got her on too much. But then if I lower the price, literally I had no one interested at all, no watchers. So I thought, if I lower the price, what am I going to get, £4? And I've got to package her up. So I've just given her to the charity shop. So that's what I'm doing with more and more things, to be honest. And my husband's quite keen to get rid of things like that, and a number of you have said to me, well, don't spend too much time on it, really, just try and get the things out of your house. And I do think you're right, but some of those things in that yellow box, they will fetch a bit more money. Some of them cost me quite a lot of money when I first bought them, but have definitely gone up in value. So I'm going to aim to list them. Again, I really need to set myself a target, so I'm going to aim to list them by the end of the week, so that'll be good. And some of the My Little Ponies, again, most of these were mine, but I'm just quite happy to get rid of these ones. They were not the real original ones, not like the ones that I had in the 1980s. They were like the remake, and although the second generation weren't quite as pretty, they are still nice, not like the new ones that are like really ugly and thin with strange looking eyes and faces. So I go through that just to really see what I've got and think what I'm going to put onto eBay, and then I do some more in the kitchen. So I'm really pleased. In my last two videos, I've had quite a lot of views. So my not last video, the video before that, the one that went out at the weekends, that's had 2,500 views in just 2 days, which is good for me. I know it's not anything like a lot of the people on here, but still I'm really pleased with that. Some of my older videos have only got 2,500 views, so the fact that I've got that in just 2 days, I'm really pleased about. So probably I'm going to look to do another charity and give my ad revenue to that charity. So I think it'll probably be February. So to give you lots of notice, because last time you really supported me, watched a lot of my videos, and also watched a lot of the adverts. There are a couple of you that I know that really went out of your way to do that, so that's really very, very kind of you, and that meant we gave more money to charity. So that's what I'd like to do, and I do have a few targets for my channel. So last year I grew my channel from quite low numbers really, through to 3,000 followers just at the end of the year. It's funny because that's what Andrea said. Andrea said when I hit 2,000, she said, oh, you'll be on 3,000 soon. And I thought, no, it'll probably take another year. And it didn't. I got to 3,000 followers at the end of 2024. So I would like to end 2025 with 5,000. I don't know whether that's realistic or not. What do you think? Another one of my targets that I've told you before about on my sort of target setting video is that I want to shine the sink every evening, just like the Fly Lady does. Now, I've had very, very mixed reviews and opinions on Fly Lady, and I absolutely agree with you all that it's quite intense. Is that the best way of putting it? And I know my house and I am not ready for that, and my lifestyle is probably not ready for that. But my aim is not to kind of, buy a book and start reading it cover to cover and doing everything she says. I just want to bring in a few different things that she talks about and that you have suggested to me. And there are some other really good YouTubers that you've suggested that I look into. So shining the sink, just really doing all the washing up from the day before. And that worked really well last night. So my daughter was getting ready, she's washing her hair, and my husband helped her dry her hair while I just finished the washing up, and then I went upstairs to help her. She actually, with her Christmas money, she's bought a new brush. Now this brush is like got magical properties to such a degree that it looks like that's going to encourage her to brush her own hair, because at the moment I still brush her hair, and when it gets knotty, of course, those of you that have got long hair or had children with long hair will know what that ends up resulting in. So she'd been brushing her hair, and all the holes in this brush make it dry quicker, and you can put the hairdryer really close to the brush without the hair getting damaged, and the hair still gets drier quick. So whilst there was this whole discussion about this brush starting, I tidied up all the kitchen and cleared all the kitchen. And I agree with you all, those of you that come down in the mornings and the kitchen is clear, it really does make me feel happy. So I'm pleased that every day since I started this, the kitchen has been clear. I've done lots of washing up. I did at the same time as doing dinner. So hopefully my husband's just got one plate and a glass and I've got one glass left. So that'll be another day this evening where the kitchen's going to be tidy and cleared. So I'm really pleased about that. So today was back to school, back to work for me. My husband went into the office in London. So things have returned to normal. So I was really pleased actually, because it's always a bit of a struggle for everyone to get up on the first day back to school. So my husband went in a little bit later so we could all sort things out together. My daughter had packed her bag the day before, the night before, so I knew all that was ready. He put her breakfast in the oven and went in a little bit later, which is a great help to me. So I did the school run. I came home and I did my commitment to do my 30 minutes walk. It was bitterly cold. I mean, so cold, you wouldn't believe. So I did my walk and then got back in, had my first meeting at 10. So I had a couple of meetings, then I grabbed some lunch, had quite a short lunch, because then I got in the car and drove over to Great Yarmouth. Then I drove back and picked my daughter up from school. Some of the voiceover that I recorded I actually did in the car, so I'm sorry if that wasn't as clear as normal. Then I got home and we planned to have spaghetti bolognese, and I really didn't fancy it and neither did my daughter, but that was the one thing that we could do really quickly and easily because I'd got some frozen in the freezer. So I took that out, defrosted that. And I have been so cold, like I'm cold to the core. My husband's got like the hand warmer and I've got a fleece wrapped around me and a hot water bottle trying to get warm. So the temperature has very clearly dropped in England. So you can see me in the video at the moment battling with loads of lights. Now I've got a massive great bundle of lights that all come downstairs for Christmas and they all go back upstairs and they're never used. Now if I give these to charity, the charity shop put them straight in the bin because they're all old lights and because there's various different rules about pat testing and checking electrical items. The reason why I've kept them is because they all have old bulbs which you can't now purchase. Actually someone I think bought up loads and loads of old bulbs from Woolworths and they sell them on eBay for about £10 for a pack of 2. So it seems silly to get rid of them. So what I did want to do is just get rid of them, separate them all, because they were in this ridiculous tangle. So my husband did it, then I had a go, and then we both tried together. In the end, I really just wanted to smash them all and throw them out the window, because that took us absolutely ages to separate them. We separated 3 loads of lights, and then the other 2 that were left, and my husband started untangling them and then said, actually, this one needs a special plug and I've got no idea where the plug is. So 2 sets were put in the bin. So we didn't keep absolutely all of them. So I'm going to go through some of your comments now. So thank you so much for all the comments that you always add to my channel. I love reading all the comments. I read every single one of them and I try to respond to every single one. And I really get a lot of enjoyment from reading your comments, so thank you very much. So Ms. Butterfly UK says, just found your videos and I have subscribed and liked. Thank you very much for that. Carolyn says, I'm so glad about the dryer. I hope it's an electric one. Nana Tracy says, Emma, my son, has a Vax carpet cleaner and he used to use the right solution. Then he started using fairy liquid. I like that idea as no harsh chemicals. He just adds a few drops. I've got very little done in the house this week, just basics really. Sure, a fibro flare is hanging around, but it won't last forever, and then I'll get back on sorting stuff. Currently going through recipe books and rewriting ones I will use as my eldest bought me a recipe box with the cards in, so it's much easier to get them rather than going through the books. That's one book ready to declutter. That's a lovely idea. You're always so busy, Nana Tracy, and even though you're not feeling 100%, you're still thinking about what you can do, which doesn't require much moving around. Oh, Runs Morning says, I love your thoughts about teaching your daughter to listen to her body. I'm a grown woman and I'm still trying to learn this and not treat myself as a bin. I think it's hard for us all. To be honest, it's always so tempting just to think about, eating the last bits and pieces of things. But when you find yourself eating things that you're really not even that keen on, that's when really you've got to say, stop. I also think it's really good to teach children to leave something on their plate. And I think it's complete opposite to what we used to be told, wasn't it? Oh, it's good to have a clear plate. But actually, I think it's a good message to feel like you don't have to eat absolutely everything. Because again, if you're given far too much, say you go out to someone's house and they pile your plate up and you really don't want to eat it all, there's no harm in leaving something, I don't think. So I can remember even as an adult feeling bad about leaving something on my plate because I went round to a family members and had dinner. And you think I was an adult and I felt like that because it was kind of, I don't know, I guess people think, well, is it rude to leave something? Actually, it's respecting your body and thinking about what you want to eat and what you don't want to eat. Okay, Andrea says, I'd love a prayer card, Emma. I get such chills when I see the lovely Christian symbols, churches and candles that you show us. It's so special. Oh. Patricia Piper says, Happy New Year to you and your family. And LV Frankie says, you do have Nando's in Australia. I didn't realise that. Guess it was just naive of me. I just thought it was in England or the United Kingdom. Kimberly Woods says, oh no, Emma, we'd love to hear you play the piano. I'm rusty, Kimberly. I really am rusty. I don't play well enough for people to listen to me. You'd all start singing along and realise that you couldn't sing along fluently because I'm so slow. Teague80 says, have you tried SMOL products? They are UK based. No, I hadn't, but I did look them up and I can see that there's not many chemicals and so on, is there? They're quite free from chemicals. However, to be honest, I've got to the point where I'm really only buying vinegar. So my cleaner in the house is vinegar. Then I use fairy liquid to wash up my plates, cutlery, etc. And I use fairy liquid to get stains out of clothes. What else? Oh, I do use a lime scale remover, but I want to go and get that citric acid that you told me about. I did actually go and look today when I was on my walk, but the local shop didn't have any. Janet Gentry says, great video, Emma. A question for you. On your trip to Walsingham, I hope I spelled it correctly. Yeah, you did, Janet. After the church, you show a flowering tree that looks like strings of pearls hanging down. What is that tree called? It's beautiful. Florida is so hot that we have more tropical plants as most plants cannot take our heat. Now I took the video because I didn't know the name of that tree and I wanted to research it myself, and I really loved it too, and it was really silky and soft. And from my research, it came up as a silk tassel bush, and I'm hoping to find my own one. So I thought that was really lovely as well. Next comment is from Anne-Marie. That's Anne-Marie Sadler. Can't remember where Anne-Marie is from, so perhaps she could let us know. Anne says, loving your vlogs. Thank you for your content. I admire the fact you talk openly about being a practicing Christian, as many may not, and also standing your ground about certain issues regarding what is taught in schools. A belated Happy New Year to you, Emma, and your family. Thank you very much for your lovely comment and for your support. I do think it's very important, and I think a lot of parents, speaking to a lot of my friends, a lot of them agree with me, but don't feel able or comfortable following it up. I think certainly as soon as someone says, oh, are you making a formal complaint? Those words are often designed to deter us. So thank you for your comment anyway, and for your support. Rainy Milliman says, when I was going through my dad's things, I found a photo of his mum, my grandmother, sitting at the dining room table, and there were 5 or 6 pots of amaryllises that were in full bloom. Wow. Each had at least 2 blooms, and some had 3, and they were the red and pink coloured flowers. She used to be quite active in social situations such as cards and what they called coffee clatch and Bible study and other events through church. They'd often bring little gifts if she hosted the event, and that was how she had so many at one time. Oh, how lovely. One thing I don't know about amaryllises, after they finish flowering, can I keep the bulb for them to flower next year? Don't know how that works. Sounds like she was a lovely lady. Did you know her very well then? I didn't really know on one side I didn't know my grandmother at all, and the other side I stopped seeing her when I was quite young. So I've never really had that relationship like what my daughter has with grandparents. You asked what my husband does for work. He's a design engineer for a manufacturing facility. Normal start hours are 7 a.m, but he starts at 6:30. The reason he gets up so early is because we live almost an hour away from his work. So by the time he feeds the cats, showers and makes his coffee, decaf, and lunch, he leaves home at around 5:30, and he gets home between 4:30 and 5. That's quite nice to be home by that time though, isn't it? So it might be an early start, but at least he gets home at a decent time. That's good. Thank you for sharing that with me. Judy Branholm says, hi, thank you so much for sharing the history of the house. Very interesting to hear. I just love old houses. They have a soul that new houses don't have. I understand that you have to remove certain things and replace with newer ones, but to keep all old things, and that is still functional, is homely, and I love it. I hope you understand my English. I haven't practiced in either writing or speaking in 40 years. It's probably not so good. Hope you and your family get a good 2025. And I replied to Julie to say her, and I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. Julie is, I would pronounce that in Italian like that, but I know that you're from Germany, I think. So I might be getting the pronunciation slightly incorrectly. But I think your English is fantastic. And the fact that you then said that you've not been using it really for 40 years and you're so fluent still, I'm very impressed. Next, we've got a comment from Budgie Bardot. Now, Budgie Bardot says, hi Emma, thank you for reading out my comments. That is exactly what I meant. So do you remember, I read out about Budgie Bardot's comment. She's got a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, I think, and 2 little ones. And I sort of read from the comment that sounded like that she was using like the Australian countdown and fireworks to make her children think it was sort of they could celebrate the new year. And that was exactly what she meant. And I just thought that was such a lovely, lovely idea. And I wish I'd heard about that. I thought it was a super idea. So Budgie's put, this is exactly what I meant. We counted down from 10, then shouted out Happy New Year. It may have confused our neighbours. We watched the fireworks for a little bit and then they went up to bed, with them thinking that they'd seen in the new year. Oh, and celebrated it with Mummy and Daddy. That's so lovely. Holly says, I tried the Fly Lady for a while and could never keep up on it all. I definitely need to get better at shining my sink. So I have decided, I'm like you've told me before when we've talked about this, I'm not ready for Fly Lady. I mean, I think I need to have a near perfect house before I start Fly Lady, or at least get rid of a lot more things. But I can do little bits and pieces. That's what I think. The sort of the good practice ideas, like the shining of the sink at the end of the day, checking your room. When you leave a room, take something with you. All those sort of little things that can get into a habit. Patricia Piper says, I hope you and your family are doing well and have a great week. Thank you very much. And Kitchen Worker 446 says, hi, new sub, welcome here. Thank you very much for finding us. I'm wondering where you're from. If you wouldn't mind letting us know, that'd be lovely. And she says, I'm glad my kids are adults and have left school with all the shenanigans that are being thrust upon young children nowadays. I take my decks down on Boxing Day. I can't stand them drooping around and looking sad when Christmas Day is over. I am, I confess, a little bit OCD, and I clean from top to bottom one room every day. I'm retired, so I have more time than working folks. I also make myself get rid of 3 items every day. So I'd like to know, Kitchen Worker, what you got rid of today. And then she says, I either sell them on eBay, donate them, or chuck them. Very cathartic. Very interesting. So I replied and asked where she was from. And I said, you don't have to worry about that with your children, but you just have to think about your grandchildren. And I'm very impressed that you managed to clean the whole house every day. And she has come back to me and to say, no, I clean one room one day, not my whole house. Oh, sorry, that's a good idea. So Monday's lounge, Tuesday's dining room. Oh, I see. That is a good idea. I'm from Yorkshire, but now I live in Lancashire. Oh, that's lovely. So I was in Yorkshire the other day. Also, I do not need to worry about grandchildren, as there will not be any. Oh. Sadly, both my children have type 1 diabetes and have made the decision not to have children, as they don't want to pass on this debilitating condition. And I fully support their decision, having seen how they both struggle to manage this life-altering chronic disease. Oh, how sad. That really is. I've come across someone, I won't sort of explain the detail, but I have come across someone who's quite young who suddenly developed type 1. And for a young child, well, for child or adult of anyone of any age, it's so hard. Oh, but that's so sad. But if they are at peace with that decision, then I think that's lovely that you are showing that support. That's what they'll want from their mum, isn't it? Oh, how sad though. Thank you for sharing that. I do appreciate that, and it's lovely that you've managed to find us. So I'm really close to the end of my video now, so thank you so much for following along. If you've been listening to my ramblings while you've been cleaning or sorting something out, then I hope you've managed to get lots done. But equally, if you've been sitting on the sofa, having a cup of tea or coffee, or whatever you like to drink, and just relaxing and seeing me try to attempt to sort my house out, then I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. It really helps me. And as I said earlier, I've got a target to try and get to 5,000 subscribers by the end of this year. That will enable me to give more money to charity, because I do want to keep doing that every few months. And you never know, I might be able to give up one of my many jobs. That'd be funny, wouldn't it? I know some of you will be laughing at this point, hearing me say that. And then I can just focus on my house. But then once my house is really tidy, what will I then do my videos about? Oh, and then right at the very end of the video, you'll see where I was today. I was over in Great Yarmouth in a beautiful building. Great Yarmouth has got some amazing architecture, so I hope you enjoy. Thanks very much for your support. Have a good weekend, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.